Hi, and welcome to another episode of Zazzle Chat. Really excited here. Today we have Rebecca. She is our category manager over paper and invitations. And so today we're going to talk about the business card refresh that you might have seen. So, Rebecca, how long have you been at Zazzle now?
About a year.
And what have you been working on since you started?
All things paper. We've been working on some things related to wedding, and business cards have been our big focus for the last few months.
Why fix something that's not broken? Can you give us the background to why we are doing this refresh?
Yes, as you said, this product line was launched in 2008, and we've had some minor updates since then, but it's largely the same offering that we launched with. And a lot of the things we thought when we launched business cards in 2008 are no longer true today. As far as the paper types that we thought our customers and our designers wanted, sizes and other options. So we've really taken a look at everything, from the papers to the sizes. We looked at corner rounding. We really wanted to try to update everything in this offering to make it as good as possible.
So how many papers did we have previously?
We had 11 paper types previously. We now have 12.
Okay. And just so you know, I'm holding the current paper types in my hand. We pretty much have a replacement for every single paper type that we can share on the blog. But in doing this refresh, how many papers did you actually look at?
We must have brought in, I think, close to 100 different papers. Then from there we narrowed down to about 30 that we tested. So we did print tests on 30 of them.
So when you say we, it was our manufacturing down in San Jose.
That's right.
So you were actually at the manufacturing looking at testing and printing. And then, so of those 30 papers that we tested, we actually finalized on these 12.
Right.
So why did we decide on these 12?
So we had to weigh a lot of different factors. Obviously, we wanted to make sure we were hitting the right, the look and feel that our customers wanted, replacing papers that sold well and that we know our customers and designers want with higher quality papers. So retaining the qualities that people liked about them, like semi-gloss is good for color, full color images. So we wanted to make sure we had a good semi-gloss, but we took into account customer feedback, that it was smudging a lot, it was thin and flimsy. So we got a replacement for that paper that had the same or actually better print quality, and also was thicker, more substantial, but importantly, a paper that we could still offer at a very good price. We know our customer appreciates a good value. So we had a lot of things to take into consideration.
Yeah, so I mean, we did all this work, but actually our prices, you'll notice, kind of stayed the same or went down in a lot of categories. So that was a big win for us. We're not trying to obviously gouge a customer, and we want the best margins for our designers as well. So we're excited about that. So without further ado, let's talk about the new paper types. So I think you'll notice on the site we divided them into 3 categories. So it just make it really clear, but there's the standard, there's the signature, and the premium line. And we're going to walk you guys through each of these lines and kind of the papers. So first let's start with the standard. So we have 2 paper types in it. Paper is really hard to view on a camera as well. A lot of it's the touch and the feel. So we did try and do a lot of photography on site. And if you go to the product landing page, you'll notice there's a little pop-up with more info. So you can view all this information while you listen to the video or just in your free time. But there's 2 types. There's the semi-gloss and the matte. So can you explain these 2 papers to us?
Sure. So the semi-gloss is a new and improved version of the old default semi-gloss. And it is great for full color, full bleed designs. If you have photography, it's great for that. Again, it's a thicker, higher quality sheet. It prints it prints better, it smudges less, but it still does not have a finish on it, which is important to point out. So if one of the complaints was the transfer of ink. So if you do have a full bleed image, and it is possible that there will be some transfer if you're rubbing them together.
Yeah.
So that's something to be aware of. We've addressed that with the signature papers that have a finish, but this is still a high quality paper, a great value, and a significant improvement over our old semi-gloss.
And you were telling me about like what's this test? Like a flip test? So I'm holding our old paper, and then this is Rebecca's holding the new paper. So if you go like this, you can see a little how flimsy this paper is. Not flimsy, but it's less solid than this.
And that was a top complaint that we heard from both customers and designers. So we are listening, and this is a big upgrade.
And then this is the matte, right? The standard matte. And just so it was brought up on the forums, but the standard matte is actually the same paper and invitation. It's from the same mill.
That's correct.
As our signature matte in the invitation line. So if you're looking at creating suites or something, this is a good paper to kind of complete the suite.
And this is a custom sheet that was made just for Zazzle. So it's a beautiful uncoated sheet if you want that natural feel. It's better for less ink coverage. If you have a design that's dark ink all over, then it's probably not the paper that you want. But for a softer look, our matte paper has become one of our most popular papers. So I think
that's like a trend thing, like sometimes high gloss is trendy, sometimes matte. I feel like matte's maybe in that current phase, and who knows what will be next, but we have all of them available at Zazzle. And then next we have our signature line. And the signature you'll notice, is a little higher in price point, but we also feel like it's a good value for what you get. So we have the cream, we have the signature, this one is
the matte,
signature matte, and then this one is the signature gloss, UV signature gloss. So can you explain these three paper types to our designers?
Sure. So this cream, we know we have people who like a more traditional look, maybe for those industries like professions like lawyers, and it's a very classic traditional look. This is a much higher quality version of the
this
cream.
Is our old cream, just so you know. And again, the flip test. Can you hear the sound? This is a lot more thinner paper.
It's thinner, and that has no texture. This one has a nice a smooth eggshell texture, so it just feels more luxurious also. But we also made sure that it didn't have too much texture so that the print quality is still very good. So it's really a nice, a huge upgrade. So it is slightly more expensive than the old cream, but we think that we wanted to make sure we had a quality option there.
I think texture is important. You want it to be there, but you don't want to distract from your design, because the focus should obviously be on your design, but the paper is a good backdrop for that. So explain to us the gloss and the matte paper, and then maybe even explain how that relates to the premium silk.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, the standard semi-gloss does not have a finish on it. It's still a quality paper, it's versatile, and it's a great value. At this next level, this is a step up. It's thicker even than the standard. It's very stiff. And importantly, we apply after printing a finish. So this has a matte UV finish. So it's a protective coating. That means your ink will not smudge. So even if you have a whole stack of these in your pocket or wallet rubbing together, the ink will not smudge. which is important. It's a big complaint, and so we wanted to address that. This is our default paper. Importantly, it's also, this matte UV finish is writable. So you can write on it with a regular ballpoint pen.
And it won't smudge.
And it won't smudge.
And I think you said this is a 16-point paper and this is an 18-point paper. So it's a little thicker.
It is thicker. Yeah, you can definitely, and the stiffness is also noticeable if you are holding the two. So we have below it the same paper with a different finish. So we know we have customers who like different looks. This is a high gloss finish.
Yeah, you can like feel the gloss. You see if you can see when you tousle it, you can see it shine.
So, right, it's protective. It will prevent the egg from smudging, and it also adds a nice high gloss finish that will add a nice pop to your designs if you really want something shiny and eye-catching.
So you said something interesting. You said these two are actually the same papers, but with a different finish. And I think that's important to notice, even though within the actual product page we say they're different paper types. That's really more for customer facing, because it's more complicated unless you're really into paper to understand the finishes. But as designers, we think it's important for you guys to know that it's actually the same paper but with a different finish. And then there's actually one more paper within the same paper type but with a different finish. And that leads us to our premium line, and that's the premium silk. Can you explain this paper to us?
This is, again, the same paper, the same base paper, which we print your design on, and then we coat it with a really luxurious silk laminate. So it's a film, a very protective and really velvety soft.
Yeah, it's like a butter almost.
Rose petal is
a rose petal. Yeah, like I like, it feels good to touch.
It has a nice, luxurious tactile quality. It really feels, it has a really nice feel.
And if you go to the site, you'll notice that these two papers are 18 point and this one's listed at 21 points. And you're probably wondering, like, it's the same paper, but the finish does give it that extra thickness, which increases to those 3 points. But just so you know, again, the signature gloss, signature matte, and the premium silk are the same base paper with a different finish.
And this is a very popular finish right now, and it is very durable. I'd say this is our most durable paper. It's not waterproof. Obviously, the edges of the paper are still exposed, but it is water resistant if you were to spill something on it, and tear resistant. So it's a very durable.
Yeah, I think
paper.
A lot of our high-end competitors have something similar, so I think we really stepped up our game with this one. This is pretty much as nice as you're going to get, or a whole premium line, really. So the next one is linen. I love the linen texture. It's like, you can really see it. Similar to the cream, it's got that more classic look.
It really is an elegant sheet, and it has it's a very refined linen finish. We updated the old linen, which was a much thinner.
Again,
yes.
The little test is just a little thinner.
Thin, flimsy, wrinkles easily was, those were top comments that we got from our customers. So obviously we want to make sure that we got something that we're offering at the same price as before, but this is a much, much nicer paper. And linen is something that, as you said, it's a classic paper, a classic finish that will never go out of style. So
yeah. Next we have is pearl.
Yes.
This premium pearl. And the pearl has a bit of a shimmer in it. And Rebecca's gonna, I feel like we're on QVC or something, but she's gonna show you the shimmer. And this is great for if you just want to add a little warmth to your design.
Yes, the pearl has always been popular for us for our invitation line and for business cards as well. This is a little bit different from our old pearl. I don't know if you can see the difference in color.
It's a little whiter, I would say.
It's more of a pure white. It doesn't have any cream or yellow undertones. So it's a more pure white, which I think makes it a little more neutral.
Yeah.
And it's really a really versatile paper. Everything looks good on here. You can print photographs,
It's like a
any
filter.
kind of.
It's like a
physical
filter, not just for Instagram anymore.
And it has a great smooth texture, and this is also much thicker and stiffer. Again, across the board, a complaint was that the papers were not thick enough and were too flimsy, so everything is 16 points and up. So it's a significant improvement. We think you'll be happy with this one.
Yeah. And our next paper is the Premium Thick. And the Premium Thick is a replacement for our old Ultra Thick. I'm just going to show you, this is the old one and Rebecca's holding the new one. You'll see how much thicker this paper is. And as much as I love the weightier paper, it was kind of cumbersome if you had a business card holder and you can only put 3 or 4 business cards. This used to be advertised at 39 points. But in reality, when we tested it, it was more like 45 or 46 points, and the new one's 32. So it still has that, it's still thicker, but it's not overly thick now.
Right.
And we've gotten rid of the middle core, but this is just a nicer paper, and we looked at sales data. Most people just like the thicker paper.
So yes, it is thick. It's still twice as thick as one of the 16 points.
Yeah, so 32 divided by 2 is 16. So, she's good at math. And then lastly, I think this is something that's really fun, is we have the color paper. So this is going to be premium black. And obviously you can print black on the paper, but if you look at the side, you'll see that this is black to the core. So if you rip it, it's still black, as opposed to if you print all black, if you rip it, it's white, right? So we have 3 colored papers, and we'll talk about in the next episode how these are different. Next part of the refresh is really exciting as well, is we added new sizes. So before you saw on our site, we have standard, chubby, and skinny. We've actually renamed chubby and skinny to be mighty and mini. But we also added new sizes, and so we're going to show you the new sizes. So we have, this is our standard mighty and mini, and you can tell the difference. And next to it we have updated rounded corners, which we'll explain in a bit. But standard, mighty, mini, and then we have the square. I think you guys will be excited by the square. And there's
the Euro.
And popular is they actually, and I didn't know this till I started working on paper business cards, but Europeans actually have a different different size business card. It fits in the wallet a little better or something, and most people won't notice the difference, but some people will, and we want to make sure that our growing international customers were able to get access to that. And then lastly, we have the Oceania, which is popular in Japan and Australia. So we have sizes for everyone across the universe, and then you'll notice these 2 little teepees in the middle. That is new too. We're going to have folded cards, and these are going to be fun too, because you can design 1, 2, 3, 4. So a lot more surface area, and then we have 2 different orientations. So the vertical and the horizontal, and then obviously you can design, however you want. So these will be added. If it's not added by the time this airs, it will be added shortly. So we're really excited, and we won't have any designs on these, so we're asking for you guys to design on kind of the sizes that we don't have. And last thing, part of the refresh was improved quality. So we did get some complaints because the process used to be manual when we were cutting like rounded corners or etc. That sometimes the corners were just a bit off. So we've updated our machines. We bought brand new machines, and they're really it's almost like a cookie cutter. And so it's all digital, so it's really hard to mess up. So we have digital, so the quality, and that's why we're showcasing the rounded corners. The rounded corner price actually fell because this new machine makes it cheaper for us to manufacture. So we're really excited that you have all these options. So that was kind of a long-winded explanation, but we're really excited to share with you all the refreshes. Stay tuned for part 2 as we explain and give you guys feedback on how this will impact you guys as designers.